Hello and welcome to the news at 5 on Channels Television. I'm Olumide Macaulay. The Senate has ordered its Committee on Police Affairs to investigate complaints that President Bola Tinubu's directive withdrawing police escorts from VIPs is being applied unevenly. The lawmakers allege they have been unfairly treated, while ministers, businesses, leaders, and other influential figures still retain full security details. This issue surfaced during plenary when Senator Abdul Ningi of Bauchi Central protested that his lone police orderly had been withdrawn, even as other prominent personalities continue to enjoy protection. He cautioned that such selective enforcement could expose legislators to unnecessary risk and defeat the purpose of the security reform. Senator Ningi insisted he supports the president's policy, but only if it's applied without bias. In his words, we cannot be singled out while others remain protected. Urging the leadership to take the matter seriously, the Deputy Senate President, Barau Jibrin, responded by acknowledging the concern, noting that the Senate had already begun reviewing the situation. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives descended into chaos during a heated session after lawmakers moved to summon the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to explain the alleged failure to remit trillions of naira in government revenue. The motion presented by Representative Bamidele Salam, chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, accuses the CBN of withholding over 5 trillion naira in operating surplus and 11 trillion naira in government revenue. Mr. Salam told the chamber that the governor had repeatedly ignored invitations from the committee and that the figures were extracted from the Auditor General's 2022 report. Tensions escalated when the Speaker proposed setting up an ad hoc committee to handle the investigation, a move that angered several members who insisted the constitutionally established Public Accounts Committee should handle the matter. Amidst the uproar, the Speaker reprimanded disorderly lawmakers and issued a stern warning before finally yielding to the majority. The House subsequently resolved to summon the CBN governor to appear before the Public Accounts Committee. Meanwhile, the president has reiterated his directive for the removal of police escorts from VIPs, stressing that any official seeking special security must obtain clearance, as the policy remains firm and non-negotiable. President Tinubu also urges decisive action to be taken to end the recurring clashes between farmers and herders across the nation, warning that the conflict continues to threaten peace and productivity. Speaking before the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House, he directed the Vice President and the National Executive Council to identify villages and grazing reserves that can be rehabilitated into modern ranches and livestock settlements.
So if you have any problem of security because of the nature of your assignment, please contact the IGP and get my clearance. The Minister for Interior should liaise with IGP and the civil defense structure to replace those police officers who are on special security duties, so that you don't leave people exposed. NSA and DSS to provide further information and form themselves into a committee and review the structure. It should be effected. We face challenges here and there of kidnapping and terrorism. We need all the forces that we can utilize. I know some of our people are exposed. I understand that we have to make exceptional provision for them, and the civil defense are equally armed. And I want to know that from NSA to arm our forest guards too. Take it very seriously. The Vice President should get the NEP, first of all, to see which village or grazing reserves that can be salvaged or rehabilitated into ranches. We must eliminate the possibility of conflicts and turn the livestock reform into economically viable development.
President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In Adamawa State, the Bati community have condemned the death of 7 women, describing the incident as barbaric. They made this known during a peaceful protest organized by women's groups in Numan, the administrative headquarters of Numan local area. They've called on the federal government and human rights organizations to thoroughly investigate the killings and ensure justice for the victims.
Sympathizers, friends and relatives converge on the Numan General Hospital mortuary, where the expressions on their faces speak in volumes. Grief and anger envelop the area as women dressed in black mourn the death of their relatives. From the Numan mortuary, the women march through the streets chanting lamentations. After the procession, the mourners proceed to Lamude for the burial of the victims. The number of those who died in the incident is now 9, 8 women and 1 male. A statement from the Nigerian Army 23 Brigade in Adamawa State had denied reports that its troops opened fire on the women protesting the communal clash in the area. The statement, which was signed by the spokesperson of the brigade, Captain Olusegun Abidoye, states that the communal clash was as a result of the unresolved land disputes and ethnic acrimony between Chobo and Bachama tribes. Troops moved swiftly to the affected communities to return normalcy. The troops and other security agencies later exploited the withdrawal route of the militia group, where an additional 5 neutralized members of the armed men were discovered with a motorcycle. Furthermore, the troops received a distress call that a warring community had mobilized to attack Lamude local government secretariat. The statement reads further that while moving to secure the secretariat, some women blocked the road to deny troops passage to the secretariat, while armed men suspected to be fighting for Bachama extraction fired indiscriminately within the community. Troops then created a passage and proceeded to the local government secretariat to secure the area. At this point, no woman was shot or injured. Otherwise, troops would not have been allowed to find any passage through the crowd. The troops were able to secure the secretariat from the assailants. While stationed at the local government lodge, 2 corpses of women were brought to the lodge by the people of the community and alleged that they were killed by the troops. The statement emphasizes that without equivocation, the casualties were caused by the unprofessional handling of automatic weapons by the local militia, who were not proficiently trained to handle such automatic weapons. However, the residents maintain that the women were shot by the soldiers.
As women, we call the government to fight for our rights, because according to the Constitution of Nigeria, we have a right to life.
Some of the trucks, that is the military, they came, one of their truck passed. There was a guy holding an MG gun on top of the truck, one of the truck. When they come, they shot the bullet at the top and on the air. He shot at the air like this. They laughed. They were laughing. They shot the bullet. The road was open. Everybody cleared out.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Gbetokun, has deployed the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations to restore normalcy. He paid a courtesy visit to the Deputy Governor, where he appealed to the people to embrace peace.
We will continue to be behind the good people and the government of Adamawa State by deploying all the necessary tools and resources and personnel that will be required to ensure total peace deployed.
In her response, the Deputy Governor appreciated the deployment from the police.
We also want to assure you that as a government, we will not fold our hands like we've never done. We will ensure that we work assiduously with our people, one big family, to keep talking to each other and keep pleading to our consciences to see the need to live as one big family that has helped us to lead development under this government.
Meanwhile, more security operatives have been deployed to the area as normalcy gradually returns.
Governor Stella Oduah of Zamfara State has unveiled a 10-year state development plan designed to serve as a long-term roadmap for transforming the state between 2025 and 2034. The governor, while launching the document in Gusau, describes it as an evidence-based blueprint that captures the aspirations of the people and provides a clear path towards sustainable growth.
This is the first meeting between the newly deployed theater commander of Operation Fasanyama and Governor Stella Oduah of Zamfara State. Zamfara has long been regarded as the epicenter of banditry in the northwest region and the country at large, as several high-profile bandit leaders are believed to operate from the state.
With the hope and intent.
The new theater commander of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fasanyama, Major General Kwara Idris, informs the governor that arrangements are underway to strengthen manpower, logistics and equipment, alongside the adoption of a mobile and aggressive operational posture to enhance efficiency and flush out bandits in the coming weeks.
We are here to bring new concepts, new innovations to these operations, with the hope and intent not to reduce banditry and terrorism, but with the intent to totally eradicate it. We are bringing new concepts to the operations for greater efficiency in this theater of operations. It is for this reason that I consider Zamfara State a high priority on my operational planning on how to tackle terrorism in the coming weeks.
In his remarks, Governor Stella Oduah announced that his administration has procured 30 armored personnel carriers for security agencies to intensify ongoing operations against banditry and strengthen security across the state.
We are ready to provide any kind of logistics for you and your team to make sure you succeed. Mine is, I don't want failure. I want success. And of course, it comes with a cost. We already procure 30 brand new APCs, latest, as state government. So far, we've received about 5 or 6. 5. 10 will be delivered next week, and the others will be delivered sometimes in January.
The theater commander further appealed for enhanced cooperation among the states in the region, particularly in intelligence sharing, information gathering and logistical support to reinforce the offensive against bandits and restore normalcy to the region.
The federal government has brought former Minister of Aviation, Senator Stella Oduah, before the law on a $5 billion fraud charge filed at the Federal Capital Territory High Court. Arraigned before Justice Hamza Muazu, Senator Oduah faced a 5-count charge bordering on conspiracy and advance fee fraud. The charges were instituted by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi. According to the prosecution, one of the counts alleges that she fraudulently obtained 2.4 billion naira from the Federal Ministry of Aviation through Broadwater's resources, claiming the funds were payment for technical supervision. Investigators say the alleged offenses date back to January 2014. In additional counts, she is accused of receiving 1.6 billion naira and 839 million naira under similar false pretenses, actions said to contravene Section 8 of the Advanced Fee Fraud Act. Ms. Oduah, who appeared in court alongside co-defendant Gloria Odita, pleaded not guilty to all allegations. Justice Muazu granted her bail on self-recognizance, but directed that that she deposit her passport with the court and seek permission before traveling out of the country. You're watching the news at 5. Coming up, Nigeria's daily petrol consumption drops to over 52.9 million litres in November. Details when we come back. Please stay with us. The FCT Territory Police Command have arrested a 32-year-old man named Ahmed Abubakar in Gwagwalada on Sunday afternoon while acting on intelligence about a planned ammunition supply to bandits in Zamfara State. Now, according to a statement issued by the Police Public Relations Officer, Josephine Ade, operatives of the command's team apprehended the suspect at about 3:30 p.m. after uncovering his communication with an associate, Yusuf Mohammed, regarding the purchase of 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Investigations further revealed that Abubakar was allegedly sent by his uncle, Ahmed Yakubu, a suspected key accomplice currently at large, to procure and transport the ammunition for criminal groups operating in their Zamfara community. The arrested suspect remains in custody as police intensify efforts to track down the fugitive accomplice and dismantle the terror network. The FCT police reiterated its commitment to combating crime within the territory and appealed to residents to report any suspicious activity through designated emergency lines. A fatal crash on the Lagos-Ibadan expressway has claimed 3 lives and left several others injured. The accident occurred when 3 vehicles collided near the Lagos State Secretariat heading towards Otedola Bridge. Emergency responders, including the Lagos State Ambulance Service, the police, and officials of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, swiftly arrived on the scene to provide medical assistance and restore order. Preliminary investigations indicate that an Audi vehicle collided with a slow-moving truck, causing extensive damage and completely wrecking the car, while the truck driver fled the scene. Meanwhile, as of the time of this report, the Lagos-Ibadan expressway came to a grinding halt while dozens of trucks occupying both lanes, paralyzing traffic in all directions. Witnesses say the drivers are staging a protest after road safety officials seized batteries from vehicles parked haphazardly along the highway. The disruption has left motorists bounding on extensive gridlock, affecting commuters heading towards both Ibadan and Lagos with no sign of relief. Authorities are currently assessing the situation, and motorists are advised to exercise patience and seek alternative routes where possible as efforts continue to restore normal traffic flow. Elsewhere, political stakeholders across Kwara North Senatorial District have agreed to work together to actualize the governorship slot to the area come 2027. With the theme, One People, One Voice, they noted that since the area has not tasted power since 1999, the aspirants agreed to come together and support whoever emerges as candidate during the primaries.
The race for the Kwara governorship seat is gathering momentum, and these political stakeholders across the Kwara North Senatorial District are gathering to put forward a strong case for the zone to get a seat in 2027. The Northern Zone is yet to produce a governor since 1999, and these stakeholders are advocating for a change of the narrative.
This is an historic moment because this kind of thing has never happened. Before, it used to be stakeholders that call aspirants to talk of unity. Today, it is we aspirants, all aspirants for gubernatorial and National Assembly came together to decide to have this forum on our own.
All we're agitating for is that the power should shift to Kwara North, because if you look at it, by the time our Excellency, Brahmana Razak, is done now, Kwara Central will have had 20 years of ruling. Kwara South has had it for 8 years, so we're only begging. We're making them understand that, please, let's have a share of the cake. Kwara State belongs to all of us.
The political office holders and governorship aspirants from the zone are not left out in the plea for other zones to consider justice and fairness by ceding the governorship slot to the zone come 2027.
A lot of people are working seriously from North, Central, and the Southern Senatorial District for power shift. Not that other senatorial districts are not interested, but some people from Central and South have taken that risk to see that they are supporting the Northern Senatorial District.
But this is just the beginning. The real thing for us is to ask ourselves, you want to be a senator, you want to be a House of Rep member, you want to be a governor. Why? Because you want to represent your senatorial district in the state and show the best example of your senatorial district to the state.
Part of the communique at the end of the meeting is an appreciation of the state governor for his efforts in ensuring fairness and urges other zones to support their request.
Welcome to Business News. President Bola Tinubu has forwarded the 2026-2028 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTF) and Fiscal Strategy Papers (FSP) to the National Assembly for approval, a foundational step in the 2026 budget process. Under this framework, which is required under the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, the federal government projects total revenue of 34.33 trillion naira in 2026. President Tinubu explained that the MTF and FSP were approved by the FEC on December the 3rd and asked the lawmakers to expedite action as the 2026 budget will be prepared on their basis. The MTF-FSP is a three-year planning tool that defines in broad strokes how the federal government intends to raise revenue, allocate expenditure, and deploy resources across ministries and sectors over a medium-term time frame. Nigeria's daily petrol consumption dipped to an average of 52.9 million liters per day in November 2025, and this is according to the latest fact sheet released by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. The November figure marks a decline from the 56.74 million liters per day recorded in October 2025. On total petrol consumed in November, 19.5 million liters per day were supplied by local refineries, higher than the 17.08 million liters per day recorded in October. Despite the drop in demand, the total volume supplied during the month showed increased contributions from local production and imports. Finally, as inflation in Nigeria shows signs of slowing, the cost of living continues to rise. Households across the country refer to biting situations. Joseph Nana, chief economist of the Development Bank of Nigeria, says targeted support for vulnerable Nigerians remains crucial. Speaking on Business Morning today, he calls for continued cash transfers, stressing that programs must be backed by accurate data on recipients to ensure effectiveness.
Here in Nigeria, we are not as mature yet, notwithstanding, dare I say this, the cash transfers that had started last year and continues on has maybe paused for a bit, but we need to highlight those folks and those areas, those regions in the country who have actually received these things. Because a lot of times there's an announcement made, a policy announcement that's made, but yet we don't see a situation whereby it's now followed up to ensure that these folks actually receive these benefits and it's now being put to use. A monitoring approach needs to be taken and spotlights, or if you like, spot checks to ensure that these folks are actually using these funds to support their welfare and improve their lifestyle and so on. In the end, do I believe this can be continued? Absolutely. We need to budget for it. Like everything else, we need to budget and ensure we implement and follow up accordingly.
And that's it on the news at 5. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.